Good afternoon and welcome to Polyglot Buzz. Today we will see lesson 6, which is the interrogative pronouns and the articles. So what is a pronoun and why is it interrogative? So a pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. For instance, when we say, he is running, Peter is running, he substitutes Peter. When we ask a question, who is running? Peter is running. Who replaces Peter is a pronoun that is interrogative, is in an interrogation. Now in French and in English they are equivalent. So we're going to see them right now. There is a small list. Quand, when. Pourquoi, why. The answer to why is always because. In French the same. The answer to pourquoi is parce que. Although we can also say car, où, where, comment, how, combien de, that apostrophe, that we also do it in English to substitute. In English, when we say don't, do not, the apostrophe, we replace the O, do not. In French, we replace the vowel, the, in this case, because the following word starts with either an H or a vowel. So, combien de in English is both how much, uncountable, how many, countable. Now, what is countable and uncountable? For instance, how much bread is there in the basket? We don't know if it's loaves, if it's items, it's just bread in general. How much water is there in the glass? But we are not going to start counting the drops of water. How many liters of water are there in the bottle? Countable. How many loaves of bread are there in the basket? Countable. Okay? Qui, who. À qui, to whom. Quel. The pronunciation is almost the same. It's just the feminine. You pronounce the E, the L more stronger because the E forces you to continue the pronunciation. So, quel. And singular masculine, singular feminine, plural masculine, plural feminine. In English, we only have which. Qu'est-ce que, what? So, what is it that, really, literally, that's what we're asking. What is it that you are saying? Qu'est-ce que tu sais? What is it that he is doing? Qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Est-ce que, when we do not have an interrogative pronoun, like for instance in English, is that true? Then in French, we introduce the sentence with est-ce que, not always because you can actually just do like in English, change the verb order. C'est vrai, but it's just when you hear est-ce que, you already know that there is an introduction and a question. You know that a question is coming. So look at this page a couple of times, go through the pronunciation, write it down on the side, and when you think that you have it, let's move on to the next page. A little bit of revision. So what is the correct interrogative pronoun? Let's see if we can find the right interrogative pronoun for the following sentences. If you write down the answers next to you in a piece of paper or in a notebook, because I'm going to give you the answers at the end in the box. Okay, so pronoun est Joan. Joan est à la maison. So Joan is at home. Obviously, what would be the interrogative pronoun? Where? Okay, so how do you say that in French? I'll tell you at the end if you don't get it. Pronoun, fais-tu ça? And parce que, so we know it's parce que, so we know that the question is why. Pronoun aurait-il, we saw that in the previous lesson in the time. What time is it? Pronoun, elle l'a fête, le lundi. So if we know it's Monday, it must be when. When is the party on Monday? Pronoun, heure y a-t-il dans une journée? How many hours are there in one day? But you already have the apostrophe there, so you have a very strong clue. T'appelles-tu? We have already seen that when we were introducing yourselves. What is your name? C'est ton anniversaire? When is your birthday? Also, we saw it. Pronoun. Et votre activité préférée? What is your favorite activity? What? Which? Pronoun. Et votre maison, grande ou petite? So, what is your house like, big or small? So, let's see the answers. Où est Joan? Joan est à la maison. So, Joan is at home. Where is she? Pourquoi fais-tu ça? Why do you do that? Parce que, because. Quelle heure est-il? What's the time? It's a made-up phrase, we already knew that. Quand est la fête? Le lundi? When is the party? On Monday? Combien d'heures y a-t-il dans une journée? How many hours are there in a day? Comment t'appelles-tu? What is your name? How do you call yourself? Quel est ton anniversaire? What is your anniversary? You could say, my anniversary, my birthday is on such day. You could have also asked when. Quand est ton anniversaire? Really, you could ask both. Quelle est votre activité préférée? Quelle? Why? Because activité is feminine. So it has to be like a happy family. Feminine, feminine, feminine. The whole group of words that belong to the same group. Article, noun, adjective, happy family, all. Singular or plural, all. Feminine or all masculine. So that's why they have to match. In this case, activité, féminine, préférée, féminine. And finally, comment est votre maison? Grande ou petite? What is your house like? Big or small? I hope you've got it, you got an idea. There are lots of exercises in the internet. So you can go and do them and they will give you an answer, but they don't always give you the reason why they give you an answer. So if you have questions, you can write them down in my box and we can start a dialogue. And if you want to participate or receive personalized feedback in reference to your exact level, then you can join my patreon.com community where it's more live lessons. But here is more like construction of the language, general basic lessons. So les articles définis, definite articles. Now, what is a definite article? But in English it's the, which is very simple. You put this article in front of a name and then you're referring to a specific somebody or something. For instance, the child was running in the street. Le garçon courait par la rue. Which child? The child we were talking about before, the child we saw the other day, and so on and so forth. The speaker and the listener know what child we're talking about. It does matter what child it is. So that in French, we got the singulars, le or le. The plural is le, and le, la for feminine, singular, and the plural is again le. So le, la, le. Okay, but in English it's just the. So it's easier in English, it's simpler. That L and the apostrophe as usual when the following word starts with an H or with a vowel. Okay, so now indefinite articles, very similar to what we just have seen. And I will give you the same example so that you can see the difference. So this is a, an in English. A child, an apple. When the next word starts with a vowel, we add the N. When you put this article in front of a name, it doesn't indicate that it's determined or specific. That's why it's indeterminate. It could be anything or anyone. So if we look at the same example as we did before with the boy, a child was running in the street. Un garçon courait par la rue. Which child, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the child was running, the context, the story. It was, for instance, a rainy day and he was getting wet, or it was a day with a lot of traffic and he was in danger, and so on and so forth. So again, un, a, an. The plural, what we saw before, some. Un, un, de, some. Les articles partitifs. So these are articles that don't specify an exact quantity. Do you have some bread? Est-ce que vous avez du pain? The quantity cannot be counted. I didn't ask for 1 loaf of bread, but I wanted to know whether the shop had any bread. Do you have some? Do you have a little bit of? So in masculine is de, and in feminine is de la. Est-ce que vous avez du sucre? Est-ce que vous avez de la fruit? Do you have any fruit? Or, as usual, H or vowel follows the L with the apostrophe. So that's a little bit following on the previous slide of the sum. Articles and prepositions that they have in French. So when we put the prepositions at or the in front of an article, depending on whether the noun is feminine, masculine, singular, or plural, the possibilities are o, a, le, a, la, a, l, o, du, de, le, de, la, de, u, de. Takes a little while to get used to this. It's really not difficult, but it's just picky. You have to pay attention. Because when you're writing a little essay or you are speaking doesn't matter so much, but when you're writing, it's all these little prepositions and little apostrophes that confuse you, you know? And masculine singular, du, feminine singular, de la, in front of a vowel, de, l, in masculine, feminine, or plural, de. So that's when we have the preposition de. I hope you like this little lesson. When you study grammar on its own, it's a little bit dry. The best thing to do is study a little bit of grammar and do some exercises. But I didn't really want to do grammar and exercises because the lessons become very long, and what people want is specific, bottom line, synthesized little lessons. And then later, when we finish our A1, A2 level, which is the basic starters or beginners level, then we can expand. But at the moment, what I want to see is the overall grammar base, right? So as I said, go to the internet, do your exercises. Do you have any questions? You know where to find me. You can join my Polyglot Buzz community and share the joy of learning together. Talk, listen, read, and write. Communicate and expand with patreon.com or my Polyglot Buzz Little School Online. And if you love it or like it, subscribe it, and please share it. See you next time.